Don't be jealous. It's 74 degrees. Low humidity. It's beautiful. It really is. Here, I'll show you. This is why we live in Florida. Alright, let's see what's going on. People can't stop. The election's over, but people can't stop. Still talking about Harris. She'll sign one of the $100 million book deals. They got a guy tailgating me. We're on a road. I'm going. Oh, there he goes. Yeah. See, this is like the problem, right? Political parties don't want to talk to one another. Nobody wants to find common ground because we're letting the extremes of the parties dictate what you can do and can't do. I've never heard more. I can't believe ABC would actually put a show like The View on mainstream TV. I just can't believe it. I'm so disappointed in the company that owns Disney World that has a show that all the people do is spew like hate for everyone. Unless you subscribe to their ideology, they hate you. I think it's just terrible. I really did. I think it's like just terrible. Right, and if you try to talk to one another, you can't because they go after you. Like that Sunny Houston or whatever. I saw clips of her. She's the worst, man. And Joey Vampire. They're the worst. Right, I have to go get my coffee. The Disney Corporation. Hello. The Disney Corporation that owns ABC, ESPN, whatever. That was founded by Walt Disney and families. I can't believe how that company just absolutely, and I'm in Florida. I hear Disney all the time. My brother loves Disney. He's there 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 times a year. I don't know. Sorry, I have food in my mouth. I ran in and got my Dunkin' Donuts. It's not a donut I'm eating, by the way. I go to Dunkin' Donuts, I don't get donuts. I go in and get eggs. Yeah. They run a lot of specials. You can get, they got a meal for $6. But try something different. Hash brown omelet. So they put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, like 9 hash browns in a cup. And they put a little bit of eggs in, like pot roast or something, you know. It's alright. Whatever. Alright. I thought the whole thing was going to be eggs and hash brown, but it's not. So they had a special. It's $3. Show my face. All right. How you doing? This is the so-called hash brown omelet cup at Dunkin' Donuts. I had a little bit of eggs, some meat, some cheese, and it's loaded with like those hash browns. More hash browns than eggs. So, done with that. It was $3. It was worth the try. I like to show this view so when I'm driving, you get to see where I live. All the palm trees. People go, are those palm trees? Yeah, they're palm trees. There's the palm trees right there. Different types of palm trees. Are the palm trees over there? One's missing the top of it. That's what happens with palm trees. You see that one like trunk right there that has no top to it? That's what happens a lot of times. These palm trees get sick and the top of it falls off. All the leaves fall off. And then all of a sudden, you'll start seeing a little leaf start coming out the top and a whole new top forms. Pretty wild. But yeah, we take it for granted. Down here, there's freaking palm trees everywhere. And it's natural because these palm trees are resistant to a lot of things. They're resistant to the heat, well, the humidity, the heat. If we have a storm and it gets windy, they don't blow over. They actually bend. It's like they got rubber in them. They bend, they flex. When I was a kid, they had this big thing called a weeble wobble. You could punch it and go to the left, go to the right, and come back up again. I think it's kind of a weeble wobble. I don't know why would it weeble. Weeble wobble, but it don't fall down. I haven't broadcast live while I'm driving in a while. I've been doing some other things in the morning. doing blockchain stuff. You know, you hook your car up so they can monitor where you go and the condition of the car and stuff like that. And you get rewarded in blockchain tokens that can be exchanged for cash. But you guys know or have followed me in the morning, I'm going over to pick up my buddy. He's like 36. He's never driven a car. He has some issues, and he's almost like one of my patients. He's not a patient, but he works 5 days a week, and 3 days a week I take him to work because my schedule is I can take him. I usually on Mondays and Tuesdays my day starts at like I'm in a facility at 8 o'clock in the morning. On Tuesdays and Thursdays I can take him to work because my day doesn't start until between 9 and 9:30. So I take him to work because usually you talk about someone who's dedicated, right? He has to walk from his house. He walks like a mile. He walks like a mile down this road, by the way, that we just turned off of, all the way out to the main highway to catch a bus. I think we calculated it. He literally spends, let me see, 8 hours at work. That's absolutely terrible. Nice canopy, right? The problem is these are called black olive trees, and if there was a storm, they break off. The limbs break. I know that firsthand because I have one on my front lawn that's not there anymore because the whole freaking thing fell down during a hurricane. And they could possibly, this community back here, that's the only road in, only road out. If something happens and it gets blocked, you're screwed. It drives me crazy. I had this new cell phone service, but I had to text him that I was here. I'm early. With the Lake and Riley situation, she was the nursing student at was it Augusta? Was it Augusta? Oh, I think it's the nursing student there. The details of her attack. Talking about this Lincoln Riley. She was murdered by a guy who came here illegally. They say, and I have not seen the transcript yet, and I don't know if they released it, but they say even though the prosecution has a great case, they said it was this conversation that he had with somebody in prison, and not realizing they're all recorded. Hello, that's probably going to do an end, which would probably be the best news ever, because the defense is saying, oh, they got no evidence that he killed this girl. I'm like, oh, please, give me a break. That would be the ultimate, insult, was if that creepo got to go. Well, while we're on crazy people, let me just throw this in. Remember the Susan Smith case? I remember hearing two yells. Yeah, I remember some of the details about it. It was horrific. I think it was So what do you guys think about Trump saying he's going to use the military to deport everybody? I don't think it's going to happen because a lot of the illegals that have come across the border, they've been here so long that they've had children. That's the plan, right? A lot of them come over and they have children right away, so the children become citizens. But you know what? I don't know if that should be right. Because I was, if someone gets on a plane, right? If you leave another country and someone leaves another country, she's pregnant, and they fly. Let's say they're going to the United States on like tourism. They're gonna go visit Disney World, and she has the baby at a hospital. The flight puts her into labor, and she goes to a hospital, and she has a kid. She has the kid. Because the child was born here, are they considered a United States citizen? Or there's something to that. There's something to that. I think it has to be litigated at the Supreme Court level to get clarity. But we'll see. I text my buddy that I'm here. He didn't respond. I told him the other day, I go, you're the type of guy. I go, if I say I'll be there at 8:15, you're not ready till 8:15, right? You should be ready already. Like by 8:10, 8:05, you should be ready, hanging out, just waiting for the car to show up. What's up, dude?
How are you?
Good. What's going on?
Not a whole lot. Hey, you don't mind stopping for a drink, do you?
No problem.
Alrighty.
I was early.
Yeah.
But I was like,
well, I ain't gonna be here for another 5 minutes. Yeah, I know.
I was just sitting there going, I was just talking to him the other day, and I said, you're the type of guy that's not ready. If I say 8:15, you ain't ready till 8:15.
Yeah.
Then I'm the opposite.
Yeah.
My wife, I don't understand. I don't leave the house till like 7:45.
Yeah.
When
I'm supposed to be there, I'm there 30 minutes early. But when I wake up, I do it to the last minute that I possibly can.
To do what?
To sleep.
Oh.
But when somebody says, hey...
Don't you get nervous that you might fall back to sleep?
Sometimes.
That happened to me a couple times. I was really tired, and I stayed in bed.
Right.
And I made the mistake. I shut my alarm off. And I freaking fell back.
Somebody says, hey, I need you to be there by 4. I'm usually there by 3:30. But I just roll out of bed. I don't want to procrastinate,
Yeah.
Like yesterday, I was moving slow, and I got to work right on time, but it wasn't late,
How'd you get there yesterday?
Left.
How much is that in the morning?
I think yesterday was 26. It's been like 22.
Dude, that's expensive.
Yeah, but it's twice a week.
You don't take the bus to work anymore?
No. I don't even see a bus stop up here.
To go north?
Yeah.
I looked one time too. I don't know where the bus stop is.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
I mean, they got one right there when you're coming south,
Right.
but I don't see it going north.
Right.
I looked.
The rumors are out. They might get rid of Montgomery.
The Boston coach.
Yeah.
Who are you gonna get?
That's the question.
That is.
They'll probably go in-house and wait till the end of the season, yeah.
I can't. You know, they're in 8th place.
Yeah.
I saw that on the standings. I just happened to look at the
The
standings.
sky's not falling. They're still in the second wild card, but you know, it's when you're a original 6 blue blood like Boston, it's like, you know, if you're not in the playoff race, you know, the sky's falling.
Well, Edmonton did that, right? They got rid of their coach.
Yeah, and then they were doing worse off than Boston, but Edmonton had a lot more talent than Boston this year.
If they're contemplating getting rid of the coach,
Yeah,
they believe they had the talent
yeah.
to compete, right?
That's what everybody's speculating. It doesn't mean that it's going to happen.
And sometimes they change the coach just to bring about a different attitude in the locker room.
Right.
You know.
Right. They say that there's not going to be a practice this morning. I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
I don't know if that means that the coach is going to be fired. I don't know if that means it's a players only meeting or it's a come to Jesus and you know. So Marshawn says, "Hey, we got to start playing better." The captain or Pasternak or one of those guys says, "Hey guys, we got to start playing better. Stop fucking around."
Listen, I'm sure they do that every day. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm sure they do that every day.
Yeah.
You know.
They lost last night. It was embarrassing. They lost 5-1 to a bad Columbus team, and it's just like, you know, I don't know. So some people are speculating that he could get fired today. Some people are saying that, you know, maybe it's just a players only meeting to shake things up. I heard that there was like 18 scouts at the game yesterday. There was like 26 scouts, and 2 from 18 teams because they wanted to make a trade with Boston. They said I'm sure they didn't like what they see. They lost 5-1. Everybody played like shit. So, but you know, it looks like Boston. They were saying that Boston might make a trade for some offense. That's what they need, but you know, they don't have any assets. They don't have who can they trade? They don't have any draft picks. They don't have any prospects. So who the fuck knows? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're kind of handicapped in that position.
Yeah, but it's like they need offense. They're losing 5-1. They need defense.
Yeah.
They need defense.
Yeah.
Their $12 million goalies doesn't get any help.
Well, 8.5. But the idea is
he's not getting enough help.
Yeah.
Either that, or he had one great year.
The fans are starting to turn on him. Before it was, it's not his fault. The defense is not playing good behind him. But now that he's given up like 12 goals in 2 games, it's like, okay, this might be Swavin's fault.
Could be a combination.
Yeah. You know, so.
I mean, you can't. The problem is in being realistic.
It's not that he had one good year. It's just that he's not used to taking the load of a number 1 goalie. He only did it like the 1 year, and then he was good for 3 years, right? But he only took the load of a number 1 goalie for 1 year.
But to be realistic, if you look at if you look at standings, right?
Yeah.
Realistically, most goalies give up anywhere. They give up 2 to 3 goals a game over the course of a season.
Right.
Right?
Right.
So,
if you're giving up more than 3.5, it looks bad. You know, he's close to 3.5. He's like 340, 335. Once you get into that area, it's not respectable anymore. You know what I mean?
Listen, I still think you got a combination of defense.
Yeah.
But you know what? Listen. Just like the Panthers, right?
Yeah.
You get rid of 9 guys.
Yeah.
And then you bring in a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
and they think you're gonna get plugged into a system that they've
Right.
never played before,
Right.
and they're just gonna just be great.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't work like
We
that.
lost guys, and then we signed guys, and they're underachieving, and they're not worth. They haven't been playing worth their contract, so it's just been a clusterfuck of everything. But people are saying, and everybody's saying, no, fire the GM, fire the coach, trade the players. It was
Listen,
like, you know.
Go get your fucking drink so we can talk about this.
Yeah.
BLM, are you an idiot? I swear to God, I think you're an idiot, dude. That's all right. BLM, I reported you, so that's all right. You have no idea what you're talking about. It's my buddy, man. We're talking hockey. It's all right. I took a screenshot, I sent it, and I reported it. Dun, dun, dun. Unpinned message.
But I was talking to my dad earlier, this last week or 2 weeks ago. He said, and the Heat are having the same problem as the Bruins, where it's maybe they had like a run of 6, 7, 8 years where they were competitive and they were contenders every year, and maybe this is that window is closing or is closed. You know, you can't be up forever.
The problem is, right?
But do you understand what I'm saying?
No, I understand what you're saying because
Most people.
But what's the cause of it?
Yeah.
What's the cause?
The players are old, or the GM's cheap. It could be a number of things.
Players are old.
Yeah.
Marshawn is 37 years old.
36.
36. Sometimes you got to move on.
He's a month. He's a month younger than me. Don't make me 37 yet, John.
Sometimes you got to move on.
Yeah.
Tampa Bay moved on from Stamkos.
Yeah.
Listen, a 36-year-old
Yeah.
can't keep up with a 26-year-old.
Yeah.
Just can't do it.
Yeah. I get it.
And when you, they've seen that's happened in sports a lot, right? Where you stick around, when you stick with your older players.
Yeah.
You ride them as long as you can.
Yeah.
And then
they want him to retire as a Bruin. And
but
all
then
that. I get it.
But they all crash and burn.
Yeah. The ironic thing is he's like a second or third of the team in points because nobody's scoring. You know, the old guy is like second or third of the team in points. You know, look at all these young guys, and they're not doing shit. Nobody's doing shit. Nobody's scoring. I think that's the issue. I guess they give up goals, but there are a couple games where they're losing 2-0, 3-0, and I'm like, gotta score. Gotta score, guys.
I think one of the problems is that the salary cap, the age of the salary cap, has created mediocrity in sports.
Yeah.
Because
but I think the window's closing for the Heat too. You know, you can't be up forever. They were they were championship contenders for 7, 8 years, and now their window's closing. And the same with the Heat. And same with the Bruins.
Because you have to keep, you got to keep exchanging players. You can't.
Maybe this is the time where the Bruins and the Heat, they start rebuilding and then start building for that next 8-year run again. The fans don't want to rebuild, but maybe it's necessary, Maybe if they tell the fans, hey, we're going to rebuild for a couple years and then we're going to be a playoff contender, maybe we would understand,
A lot of people, they would never do that. You know why? Because they're afraid to lose season ticket holders.
Yeah.
I don't think so. Someone who has great season tickets, they're not going to give them up.
Yeah.
If you can afford, what did I hear the guy on TV say? His fourth row tickets, center court for the Heat, are like $15,000 a piece.
Oh my God, that makes me sick.
For the season. Those people ain't worth it.
They got like courtside seats for like $30,000. That makes me sick.
So
who would pay $30,000?
So that seat. So you ever see?
It's like more than I make in a year.
You ever see? You ever see the Heat? So you got the Heat bench, right?
Yeah.
You got where the coaches sit.
Yeah.
And then you got like 3 or 4 seats right next to them, like high back type seats.
Right.
They advertise those seats once in a while, like on the resale market.
Yeah.
They go for like $5,000 a game.
Yeah. But maybe this is the Heat, the Bruins' time to be bad. They had a hell of a run. I started watching them. They've made the playoffs like 8 years in a row, and I've watched them, and I've been rooting for them for 7. So I don't know the Bruins. I don't know the Bruins being bad, but I know the feeling of teams rebuilding, and I've had teams that were good and then had to rebuild for my other teams.
Yeah.
But maybe this is the time. Maybe this is the window where, hey, that period in time is over and it's time for a new period. Time to build around Pasternak with some young guys. Who the fuck knows?
How old's Pasternak?
I think he's like 30.
He ain't a young guy.
No. But he's in his prime.
A young guy who's 23, 24. That's a young guy.
Yeah, he was in his prime though. He's still scoring 40, 50 goals a year. He's still in his prime.
Apparently not this year.
No, well, nobody's doing shit this year.
It could be the players that are around him,
Yeah. But like I said, nobody's scoring for us this year. That's the issue. Maybe the defense is the issue, but the issue is they can't score either.
Maybe they need to keep the head coach. Maybe they need to bring in a new
offensive coordinator.
They had that, right?
Yeah.
Those are the guys.
I don't know if they have offensive coordinators, but they got coaches. They got all these different coaches.
Well, if you ever watch a Heat, because I haven't seen a Panther game this year because apparently my provider doesn't have channel 39.
That sucks.
And then if I wanted to watch the Panthers, I got to subscribe to the Panthers. And that's it's only $70 for the whole year.
Yeah.
But I ain't doing it.
It's not bad.
Yeah, but I ain't doing it.
Yeah, I guess. But you could always follow them on your phone. Like, I see maybe like 12, actually see on TV, maybe.
There's too many other ways that I can get live updates.
Yeah, of course.
And I'm like, I work too hard. Like,
yeah, I get it. And you shouldn't have to. I'm not paying any money to watch the Bruins. I follow them I follow the game tracker on my phone. I got this app that does the radio stations for free. I listen to the Boston radio station. Listening to the Boston radio station when I got home off the bus.
I remember, you probably don't remember this. I do. When the NFL had blackouts.
Yeah, I do remember that.
I remember when the Dolphin games weren't sellouts.
I do remember the games being blacked out because I lived in Atlanta, and Atlanta had horrible football teams when I was growing up in the 90s. The Falcons games weren't even on. Some of the Falcons games weren't even on TV. They were so bad.
They would get like Miami.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. But they would get like our local radio station or TV station that buy out like the last 1,000 tickets.
Yeah. I remember those days. I remember those days for South Florida, and I remember those days for Atlanta. For sure. They would black out the Marlins games when I would come down to visit the once a year, and I would watch the Marlins games on TV. They would be blacked out. They're like, the Marlins game's blacked out. Well, they suck. I was like, yeah, I know. When I was a teenager, I used to come down here and,
Listen, the Marlins need to move.
I don't know.
They need to call it a day.
They need a competent owner and a competent GM. That's what they need.
They got no money, dude.
I know.
They don't have.
Some of those small market teams have competent owners and competent GMs. They just do just fine. Look at Minnesota and Cleveland and some of these other teams.
But they get a lot more. They get more than the freaking. You see where the Marlins game? They had 3,000 people.
Yeah.
Only 3,000 people.
Well, they're terrible though. If they start to be respectable, they'll get more than 3,000 people.
Can't do it. You know why? Because they just don't have the money.
Yeah.
Don't have the. Jeter tried.
Yeah.
And he left.
Yeah. And then the woman came in.
She tried.
Yeah.
And sooner or later,
they got a new manager now.
Not everyone is the Oakland
A's.
The A's and
Moneyball era. The A's are
we're
terrible.
We're gonna win in the aggregate.
Yeah.
No, it just doesn't.
That didn't really work out for them in the end. In the interim, it did. They had a good 15, 20 year run, but now, they're horrible, and they left Oakland and they're leaving Las Vegas. I mean, they're going to Las Vegas and they're in San Jose, so it didn't work out for them at the end.
And the problem
they couldn't afford their players. They couldn't afford
the
stadiums, the teams, the cities.
And the
they
Marlins
moved 3 times. That's a horrible example, John.
And the Marlins can't grow.
That's what the Marlins are going to turn into. The A's.
Look at the A's now. Listen, the A's just struck the mother load.
Yeah.
They went to Vegas.
Yeah, but it's going to take to get there. They're going to be in San Jose for like 3 years, and then they're going to be in Vegas.
I wonder if they did that though.
Because they don't have a stadium ready, or they don't have.
Why can't they just keep playing at Oakland until the stadium's ready? Why'd they have to?
They don't have the fans. They're getting like 2,000 fans too, like the Marlins.
Yeah.
That's why. They're probably getting less fans than the Marlins, which is hard to believe. You know what I mean?
They can't do it, man. They don't have the money.
Right. But I remember those Moneyball days. But you know what people forget, and this is everybody's counter argument when they're playing devil's advocate. Oh, they got all these players, and they were off the scrap heap, and they got 3 players for 1. They all don't remember that they had an insanely good pitching staff. They got rid of all those power hitters, yes, but they had an insanely good pitching staff still. They had Mulder, they had Hudson, they had Zito, they had another guy. They were stacked in their pitching rotations. Their hitters, they did all the Moneyball shit, and they got on base and all that shit, and it worked for them. But people forget that their pitching rotation was elite.
They had great players. The problem is they don't have the money to sign them.
Right. They say, they went into the scrap heap. They did. They had an insane pitching staff.
What the insane outfield the Marlins had.
Yep.
Ozuna and Yelich.
Yep.
They sold them all off for prospects because they knew they didn't have the money to sign them.
Right. They did that this year too. They got rid of Chisholm. They got rid of everybody.
They hit on a prospect.
Yep.
And the prospect.
He's there for 4 years and
3 or 4 years.
And then he's gone.
He's gone.
Yep.
And that's
he wants to get paid.
That's going to be a continuing cycle.
Right. He wants to get paid after 2 or 3 years, and then they can't afford to pay him, and then he's on to another team. So they got to take advantage of his 2 years that he's with the